Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/surviving infidelity, where OP's narcissistic ex-wife had a taste of her own medicine. Let's begin. Looks like karma hit my ex. Posted by Reddit user HellWolfKeats.
My ex-wife left me a year and a half ago for a guy who was married to her high school best friend. Some friend she turned out to be, right? We had been married 20 years and had what I thought were 2 children together. I recently found out that my 6-year-old daughter isn't mine. She's his. She knew this from day one of being pregnant and kept it from me, and it's my name on the birth certificate, and I do intend to fight for custody, as this has been my daughter and the certificate is a legally binding document. She might not be blood, but that is my daughter. Clearly this affair has been going on for some time. Finding out was a kick in the teeth. When I asked her if it's him or me, she said it's him. Why? Because he can get it right back up after sex and go again. That's the only reason. Sex. Forget the fact that I worked 2 jobs to put her through school and continued to do so she could stay home and raise our kids and cheat on me. I gave up pursuing my dreams and music career for her so that she could pursue hers and have a family. They have been the number one thing in my life. My ex has always been a cold woman. She's bipolar, and life wasn't always easy. Her outbursts and physical and emotional abuse were soul-crushing, but I endured it because I thought she couldn't help it. Turns out that wasn't entirely true. She admitted to friends that she often punched me because she felt like it or wasn't getting her way. My kids had witnessed on several occasions her striking and verbally abusing me, and each time, I took it without fighting back and hating my kids to witness this. At one point towards the end, she was angry at me for not taking the trash out the moment I came home and grabbed me by the neck and started squeezing while my son stood horrified watching. I told her, our son will always remember this. And she let me go. I should have left long ago. I know this now. I'd like to think that, if not for my children, I would have. But I didn't want them to have a broken home and held on to the hope that someday, my wife would go back to being the woman I fell in love with. I know now that those days are dead and gone, and had been for years. After everything came to light, my wife sat down with her friend, whose husband she was cheating with, and told her point blank, yes, it's true, no, I'm not sorry, and then my wife got up and walked away. I was told this by her friend. My wife left, took the kids and moved in with him, in an apartment behind the one we shared. Even then I held on to the hope that she would see the grass wasn't greener with him. He had cheated on his own wife several times besides with my wife, and she knows this. I waited that entire first year, waiting for her to come back. She kept the apartment keys, and I assumed she was still holding on to them because she knew she would come home. But at the end of that year, they began their cruelty again, with him constantly dropping by the bus stop as I was putting the kids on the bus for school and telling me, I've come to see not daughter off to school. Not your daughter, mine. I told him, then why were you so content for the past 5 years to let me raise her to have my last name, let me be there at her birth, and raise her as mine? Where were you? Why is my name on the certificate as her father instead of yours? That almost earned me a punch to the face, and it did earn me to a drunken visit by the both of them at the end of the night because he showed up to fight. My ex then decided to make everything public, going on Facebook and bragging about her new boyfriend. Our friends were shocked and reached out to me and his wife about it. I made sure to grab all the screenshots I could. She doesn't seem to care about the hole she's dug for herself with our upcoming divorce. Then again, why should she? I already got her with the paternity test. At the end, I became self-destructive. I kept wondering what could I've done differently or better. She blamed me for not being around for her, but if I wasn't working 2 jobs, how could we have survived? I didn't clean when I got home because I was too tired, and she's screaming at me about trash when our kids have colored on all the walls, tore down blinds, put holes in the wall under her watch, but the not taking out the trash after working 16 hours was the problem. The worst part was that I wanted my family back so badly, I was believing it was my fault. It took a while to see the truth of it all. All that changed with my brother. He was determined to get me to play in his band, and even though I declined, he insisted that I meet the other members and decide then. That changed everything for me. I still declined. But I struck up a friendship with them and ended up casually dating a friend that the rhythm guitarist introduced me to. I quickly fell in love with this woman, and it was a relief to be in a loving relationship with someone That wasn't a 24/7 screaming match that usually ended with me getting hit. Now throughout this time, as I've stated, my ex still had the keys to our apartment. She would occasionally let herself in and drop off stuff for the kids. The first time she let herself in and my new girlfriend was there did not go well. She called me that night asking me who she was and why was she in our apartment. I enjoyed telling my ex that my girlfriend was none of her business. She moved on and left me and was living with someone else. The last few months, my ex has become erratic over my new girlfriend and has even begun to stalk her. My ex had sent my girlfriend a Facebook friend request and demanded my girlfriend to accept it. When my girlfriend refused, my ex called me screaming that I need to tell her to accept it because she needs to see the kind of person my girlfriend is, that I'm having our kids around. My girlfriend grabbed the phone from me and told her that she does not need to add her as a friend. Anything involving communication about the kids can be done through Messenger or through phone calls. That my ex does not and will not have access to our private life, friends, and family because she is not part of my girlfriend's personal life. This didn't set well with my ex. My girlfriend showed me the sudden burst of friend requests she got from people that had my ex as a friend. My ex then started letting herself into my place every weekend and when I wasn't home at work to snoop around. I was on the phone with my girlfriend, who was staying with me, while I was at work, to hear my ex walk in and my girlfriend ask her if there was something she needed. My ex claimed she wanted to see how much milk I had in my fridge for when the kids came over. My girlfriend told her we had it handled and my ex left. When I got home, I demanded the apartment key since she's not living there. She then took my son's keys and made copies for herself. When my lease was up, my girlfriend asked me to move in with her so that we could distance ourselves from my ex. My ex did everything she could to hinder this, calling the police and telling them I was leaving with her belongings, and when asked what was hers, she couldn't name anything in my place that was left that was hers. Now we get the kids every other weekend and I was told by my children that they are not allowed to talk about what they did with me because she doesn't want to hear it. That didn't last long. Now she pumps my kids for all the information she can get. I'm sure it's jealousy. We live on the beach. My girlfriend is very well off, and when we get the kids, we take a short walk to the boardwalk to ride rides, let them play on the beach, or visit the aquarium. If they return home with prizes, my ex throws them away. Now the issue with my ex was the last few times she dropped off my kids, I noticed she now dresses and looks very similar to my girlfriend. She dyed her hair and cut it to match her. Whatever we do with the kids, my ex runs out the following week and tries to do the same thing with them. If we got to the beach, she takes them to the beach. If we go to the zoo, she takes them to the zoo. If she finds out what we had with them for dinner, she has to make the same thing and demands our kids to tell her whose they liked more. Last week my son asked to live with us because he said my ex was crazy. You better believe I'm using all this in court. Just when I didn't think things could get any crazier with her, the other night she starts texting me nudes. What the hell? My girlfriend was sitting next to me when they started coming in, and I immediately got defensive and told my girlfriend I didn't ask for them and that my ex and I aren't talking like that. I offered her my phone to go through to see for myself. My girlfriend looked at the pictures and asked for my ex's number so she could text my ex her own nudes back so that she could show her how it's done. I called my ex and asked her what the hell she was doing. I told her that my girlfriend was sitting next to me and saw the messages and is pissed. My ex tried saying she meant to send them to someone else. My girlfriend said to her that my name was on one end of the alphabet while her boyfriend was on the other. Then she asked her who's the new guy since it was meant for someone else. My ex hung up. I really don't know what game my ex is playing. This is all just crazy to me. Let me clear up a few things. Because the comments keep coming back that, as if I'm still living there. 1. My girlfriend did not send her nudes in return. That was just her verbal response to what my ex had done, saying that she should to show her how it's done, because the pictures were of my ex with her shirt off making duck faces at a mirror, with her phone in her hand. My girlfriend simply made a joke in regards to my ex's lack of imagination. 2. I do not live in my old apartment that I shared with my wife anymore. I have moved in with my girlfriend because despite me taking the keys back from my ex, she took my son's keys and used those to keep breaking in. She does not have access to my new place and my kids don't even have keys for this reason. 3. I'm currently fighting for custody of my kids. And it's not easy with me not being the biological father of my daughter. But I'm fighting based on the birth certificate, having me listed as the father, which gives me parental rights to my daughter. 4. My ex was prescribed meds, but I'm having serious doubts if she's taken them. 5. I check my kids for bruises and make sure they are not being abused. But she made the mistake of getting physical on her boyfriend, and he punched a hole in the wall and let her know if she raises a fist on him again, he's fighting back.
Okay, so from what you have described here, OP, your ex is just a few french fries short of a happy meal. What a crazy lady. If I'm being honest, she sounds dangerous. You should really talk to your lawyer and see if there's any restraining order you can take out on her. Your ex is stunned beyond belief that you were able not just to move on, but to move on with someone who is so much better than her. She probably thought that you'd be on the hook for life so that she always has a backup plan just in case her relationship with the affair partner goes south, which I'm sure it will. But good on you, OP, for not letting her ruin your life more than she already has. Also, if I may, I'd suggest getting a co-parenting app for communication and only do communication through that application. Then block her and the affair partner on everything. Trust me, it will be much healthier for you. You got this, man. I know you do. And now for OP's update.
Just an update, but I have to shake my head at this. Saturday night, I received an angry text from my ex saying that she hopes I'm fucking happy that I won. I know I shouldn't have engaged in the conversation, but I asked what her problem was. She answered with a response that made no sense and then proceeded to tell me to go ahead and gloat. Gloat times 10, because something happened to her, and then she proceeded to accuse me of being in on it. I asked what I'm supposedly in on. Instead of a direct answer, she went off on me about how all men are pigs and can't be trusted. From this I gathered two things. 1. She's drunk off her ass again. 2. The asshole she left me for cheated on her. I didn't say anything. When she's like that, any response is a fight, and I chose to not get into it. I just read the texts and thought that she got exactly what was coming to her. She left me for my friend, who was married and had cheated on his wife 3 times, with her being number 3. And when I brought this up as she was leaving me, she told me, "I know what I'm getting into." I guess she thought she was the end, all to his wayward ways. When she ran out of insults to fling at me, she shifted her attack to my girlfriend, telling me she's ugly as fuck, and I could have had any girl, but I chose someone ugly to replace her with. My girlfriend is stunning both inside and out. My ex is also extremely jealous of my new girlfriend, and as I've mentioned in older posts, my ex had taken to stalking my girlfriend and trying to change her appearance to look like her. The attack continued with my ex telling me that I don't love my new girlfriend and it's impossible for me to fall in love with the first woman I fucked after losing her. My ex and I had been apart a year when I met my now girlfriend. It took some time for me to feel comfortable trusting someone again. And that trust was earned and not given easily. She then followed up by claiming that I only love her because I lost my apartment and I'm kissing my girlfriend's ass for a place to live. As she so interestingly put it, it's only love when you're homeless. I had my own apartment across the street from my ex-wife because she decided to stay in the complex to flaunt the fact she left me for my friend in my face every waking minute. When my lease was up, I decided to move in with my girlfriend and relocate my job there. I know she was trying to provoke a fight, I just wasn't giving it to her. When I thought my ex's attacks couldn't get any more stupid and childish, she proceeded to tell me that she's sorry she wasn't enough for me. I wanted so badly to call her at that moment and scream, it was me that wasn't good enough for her. She left me, or did she fucking forget which of us walked out the door and which of us walked out the door replacing the other with someone else. She left me for a married guy that had cheated repeatedly on his wife. Real fucking winner there. She then went on the attack on my girlfriend again saying that we both know that she, my ex, was who I wanted to be with. That my GF couldn't compete or hold a candle to her. At that point I had enough and asked her to contact me when she's better and sober and turned my phone off. Hours later when my girlfriend came home, she asked me what was wrong. I warned her that she was going to get mad and I handed her my phone and told her to read it for herself. She read it and just laughed her ass off and handed me back my phone and said, "Looks like he cheated." I said it seemed that way and proceeded to try to reassure her, thinking the ugly comments might make her question me. They didn't even faze her. She told me that my ex's narcissist ways really come out full-blown when she's drunk and bet that my ex was upset that she couldn't come to me for a revenge fuck to get back at him. I have yet to hear anything else from my ex. My guess is, as usual, the next day she looked back at those texts and saw what she did and feels stupid. I'm also betting she's back with him because she can't stand to be alone.
Oh boy. I mean, what did she expect? She started a relationship based on cheating. Of course it's gonna happen eventually. And I'm so glad that your girlfriend just laughed at this. A true sign of a good woman. Massive improvement from your ex if you ask me, OP. Your narcissist of an ex-wife can't stand the idea that no one actually wants her. So, she went back to what she thought was her old reliable supply, aka you. But unfortunately for her, you don't give a shit anymore. You do well to ignore her completely, OP. No need for the second conversation when she's sober. Take a page from your girlfriend's book, laugh about it, and then keep moving on. Also, OP, you missed a golden opportunity there. You could have destroyed her by sending one simple text message. LOL. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my YouTube channel for you to watch absolutely free. So consider clicking that super thanks just below the video title, or you can use my PayPal in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.